All right, guys, I'm here in my hotel room. Power's gone off again, and I'm trying to upload today's diary. It didn't work. First time ever. I'm going to have to divide into 3 sections. So here's the second section on the castle. It is awesome. Loving it. Hope you're enjoying it. I go into depth because I realize not many of you will come to Afghanistan in your lifetime. So I hope you enjoy it. Well, I got in. Welcome to the Citadel, everybody. I'll tell you a bit more about this when we get up onto the ramparts. Oh, I love medieval defenses. Let's check that out. So you come up really steep, ziggy-zaggy entrance, so you can't get a battering ram into it. Tight right corner, tight left corner, through a tunnel which you can drop stuff on people into this small area and into this square, which you can then shoot arrows down, I guess, if you get people. Wow, just the history that's been in here. What's up this? They look like how steep these are. And these are hard to attack. As you're coming up, shooting down. Now, this fort was built by Alexander the Great. That's like 300 BC, so about 500 years BC. There was a settlement here. King came in here, started to build his whole settlement on the Silk Road. 200 years later, Alexander the Great came with his chums. Were coming into Persia, taking over Persia. Amazing effort. He came here, rebuilt this area. This was a flat ground. He made it into hills and made it into a big mound, and then built the first fort. And I'll tell you a bit more in a second once I've looked around. Oh, this is so much cooler in here. So when I was in Iran, I came across the stained glass windows and was asking, what is it with the stained glass windows? And the reason you had stained glass windows and they came in, and there's the yellows and greens, and I think the reds is what they said, is because stained glass, get this is a great factoid, keeps the flies away. So when you had all of the camels and donkeys and everything crapping away there, this place would be full of flies. But this little place here is really cool. It's quite hot outside, it's over 30. Doesn't feel, if it was like 25 or something in here, quite comfortable. And you can keep the breeze going through, because the breeze can come here, hot air can rise through these vents. And the stained glass, apparently, the flies don't like landing on it. And from that, I guess the Crusaders brought that back to the UK in their Crusades. Oh, bend down to get through here, get your head chopped off if you're attacking. Amazing, more stained glass. And I guess that's where they got the stained glass windows that you see across England and the rest of Europe, which they claim to be theirs, but it would have come out of this Persian influence along the Silk Road, keeping the flies away. And it would have been the same then. It would have kept the flies away. More people would have come to church. Hallelujah. But look how steep these entrances are. I mean, so easy to defend, you'd think. God, I wouldn't want to attack this place. Alright, I've sneaked it with some other people into this area. I don't think I'm meant to be here, because he said you're not meant to be here. But look at this. More stained glass. Brilliant. These are the doors behind on that square, so this would have been, you could go down here. Let's have a look. Into the square. You'd sit up here, see who's coming, be able to greet them. In here it's cool. This must be where he sat. He met people. Let's see what's out these windows. These turrets offset. Clearly you can shoot. You all know how that works with the arrows. Bigger range of fire. It reminds me of going through one of Saddam Hussein's palaces. Last month or whatever it was, a month and a half ago, up in Iraq, up in Babylon. And with Etty. sneaking around, but also all the chambers that you've got up there and going into these big grand rooms that out of these narrow tunnels like this. Must have been similar design. This is that double entrance, so there's the entrance there, come a sharp round into here, and you see there's a step at the end there, and then it pops up into a steep up, so it's all hard. This is around the outside of the ramparts. Now, okay, don't know if I'll be able to, I just got kicked out. Don't know if I'll be able to go any further, but let's have a look. Oh, I might be able to go up there, hold on. Oh, I haven't seen a lot of this, so I'm right here on the edge of the ramparts, and you see how low I am, so I can walk through here. What you see up here is the firing hold. That means people can walk through here. Any arrow that does come through is just going to hit this wall. Up here, it's not even going to go into the main courtyard and accidentally hit somebody. I love castle technology, what they were doing. They had so many wars that they really knew how to defend against them. Yeah, look, you can't see anything. So there'd be a wooden platform there where people would be shooting off, and then you could go underneath. You could dismantle it, so if someone came through, they're stuck. Oh, you see all these solar panels on the roof over here? I just heard yesterday, my friend Phil told me that Herat is going to be the renewables capital of Afghanistan. They're investing $10 billion in renewable energy here in Herat. And look at all these solar panels. That puts Australia to shame. Look at that. Why don't we do that? Not saying it looks nice. It looks ugly if you ask me compared to beautiful over here, but much better than windmills out on beautiful mountains and hills. There we go. Got a bit of a rant in. Not even 12 o'clock and a lot's happened today already. A quick finish on what the Citadel is. So Alexander the Great builds this big hill. He then puts in a whole lot of bricks, builds this massive fort, controls this whole area. That's like 300 BC. Now it's not for another 1,000 years, more than that then Genghis Khan comes along, sacks the whole place. And I'm looking for a window to look out to show you the next bit. Sacks the whole place and knocks it all down. But then Timur comes in, our hero legend of the Persians, comes down, and he then sacks the place again, which has been started to rebuild. But they build it again, I think, at that stage with rebuild it, his son, with fired bricks. There's a moat around the edge, and they build this bazaar, straighten out the roads, do a whole lot of other things. And then rebuild this whole thing, but it doesn't last only 500-600 years, still a long time. And then the local military government is all falling apart, start to pull it apart again and use it to build another military installation. Anyway, around the edges was a big moat built around this hill that was full, it was then being filled in. And this big bazaar that I was in yesterday, let me see if I can reach out. In there that I'll go to. Again, you can see the hills that are right there that bring in all the water and rain. It's a massive trading center. It reminds me of those northern Iraqi Kurdish towns that I went to, right on that Silk Road on the trading. You remember that from last month. And look at all these solar panels again. Yeah, it's ugly. I get it, but it's renewable, and it's way better to be ugly where people have to deal with it, rather than leave look how the mountains aren't full of windmills. They could have done that, but they haven't. Maybe they will, part of the $10 billion investment. But I love how they've put solar powers and heavily invested in this area. Go Afghanistan, well ahead of many countries of the world, certainly many cities. Ah, saw blade. Haven't seen that. And barbed wire, nice. Hey guys, what team do you support? What cricket team?
I support New Zealand.
Amazing.
First of all, we support Afghanistan, but second, we support New Zealand. They are calm people, great people, especially their leaders are very calm, just like Ken Williams.
Brilliant.
Williams, yeah.
Thanks guys.
Thank you.
Right, just to explain, I am on a New Zealand passport here because my mum's a Kiwi, and I kind of figured having a Russian, Iraqi, and then an American and everything else visa, it's going to be difficult when I get into the US to have an Afghan visa next to that. Plus, I need to just stay in a hotel and I need my passport for that. So I'm a Kiwi here. There we go, that's my lunch. Hey boys.
Advice to
Afghanistan. Who said that? So just been changing some money at the changes that are here on this major intersection. It is not that much different from the bank. You get a bit more for the brand new Benjamins, which I know, but I've got old 50s that I want to get rid of because there's a lot of counterfeit 50s in this market, but they're okay. Yeah, so just been changing a few more hundred to get me through.